Well, I give Ohio credit. They came in here and they played exactly how we thought they were going to play. Although we didn't clearly we didn't do a good enough job preparing our team for the type of play that we were going to encounter. So I'm going to give the credit to Ohio. They came in here, they totally disrupted us right from the gate. I thought even at halftime we still were okay because I felt like our players then understood what they were up against in terms of the way they were going to defend, and then we turned around and we couldn't stop them in the third quarter, and it just steamrolled from there. Yeah, it was number one to me. I mean, on their team, and we just didn't have an answer for her coming down. That's hard to guard. I mean, that kid's coming at you, and like she's got a running start on you, and what we were supposed to do, we weren't able to do, and most of it is a credit to her and her ability to play that fast. But we wanted to send her more to the middle where we had help, and she kept beating us to the outside, and now it was hard to get help to her at the rim, and she did a good job of finishing. Yeah, it was the personnel. Honestly, I told our team, look, I didn't coach a very good game, and I should have changed defenses sooner. We did try that in the second quarter to play a little bit of zone. That didn't go so well, so I was reluctant to go back to it. But the zone seemed to be much better in the fourth quarter. But I credit the people, the subs that came in that situation, and they played extremely well. And I should have subbed sooner. I should have went with something different because we were not. And clearly we're not functioning very well with the normal. We just, same thing, pack your lunch, take tomorrow off, pack your lunch, come in. We'll study from film as we do when we win, same as we do when we lose. But, there's a common theme, and I have to figure out what it is. We typically have not been very good in the third quarter coming out of halftime, and I have to look at that and see what we're doing or not doing and see if we can make some changes that way. I'm not sure what's happening there completely. But this game really prepares us, I think, pretty good for an Eastern Michigan who plays very similar. They try and speed you up and make you uncomfortable on defense, and this team just gave us a really good prep for that.
You play Eastern. I mean, that's kind of an in-state rival there. Does that give you any momentum, especially coming off a big loss?
Well, anytime you don't play very well, as if we just did right here, you expect a very spirited effort, a very spirited preparation coming up. Whether you were playing, wouldn't matter who you were playing, but if you're playing an in-state rival, I would think it would step it up a notch, indeed. That we had to get stops. Everybody thinks we got to score, which you do, but you really have to focus in on getting stops at the other end, and we were never able to solve. It's hard to believe, but if you watch that game, you would have said our defensive game plan was to force the ball to the baseline, and that was not our defensive game plan, and that hurt us time after time after time. So I don't have an explanation for why we were doing that, but we kept trying to get them to change that part of the game, and I think that would have made at least a little bit of a difference potentially in that third quarter, and we never did. And then again, number one, Crooks is just incredibly hard to guard when she's got that head of speed coming at you, and she puts a lot of people in bad situations with that. Sure. Well, what fans see is what happens in the 40 minutes that we're playing right here. What everybody else doesn't see, there's a lot, which it matters what happens on game night, but also matters what happens in the 6 hours of preparation leading up to each game too, or more. So and those kids perform well, and that does matter. But what matters more is what's going on leading up to that game too, to position, because what happens in practice kind of positions who we think we should go to first when we're going to go to the bench, and that's something that you've probably noticed has been forever changing. But based on how these people that were playing in the fourth quarter, certainly it'd be silly not to move them up a notch. Yeah, well, we've been inconsistent. The thing that continues to plague this team, or that we continue to struggle with is making shots from the arc. And when you're not very good at making shots from the arc, and your post players get a lot of attention down there, which makes it difficult to keep a nice balance. So it's not, we knew that was our unknown coming in, and it's proven to be, and we're just going to continue to work on it and see if we can get it solved. It's a long season. We're 5 games in. We have 13 at least more to go, and lots of time to continue to improve on what ails us.